All right, welcome to week 3 Pioneer Masters League. We got our second feature match of the night here. We got Keelan T up against Joaquin E. So these are two players that are at a bit opposite ends of the standings right now. Keelan at 4-7, so a bit of a slow start to the league, but he's been with us only for a few leagues, but has proven himself pretty strong with his results. And Joaquin's 9-4, so a solid start. What's he got over there in hand?
So he's holding. He's got three more lands, and he's only has one creature, which is this Knight of White Orchid. I assume is just going to get played out,
Yeah.
and then he's got a coordinated assault and a fall of the hammer.
Okay, yeah. So I played him earlier today actually, and he was on this Boros deck. So um, it's basically going to be what you expect from Boros deck, which is small creatures, pump spells, a little bit of go wide, and some cheap interaction.
I mean, he's Joaquin's trying a nice draw here, and especially if I don't know what's in Keelan's hand, but against a red blue deck, this is kind of exactly the card you want.
Yeah, so Keelan's got a coordinated assault. He's got a witch's mark. He's got Scourge of Valkus. Scourge of Valkus being in showing up in 100% of the feature matches so far tonight was not on my bingo card. And he's got the gust of wind that he can cast for 2 here and just keep pounding in the damage. So, I mean, pounding in the damage is just 3 damage, but he does not have a permanent answer to this 4-3. And it's not that he doesn't have a way to remove it. He doesn't have a way to remove it. He just also doesn't have like anything to fight it in combat either.
Um, yeah, Joaquin's drawn another. I don't love this card that much, but it's a card you can at least play right now.
Yeah, Zergo Bellstriker. Yeah, against decks with like a lot of sorcerer removal in the late game, it can actually be a bit annoying. Um, if you like got your opponent to 10 and then you're top decking and like you're able to just get around all sorcerer removal with it, but yeah, it's just a just a 2-2 with not a lot of exciting text.
I mean, if you're red white, you play it right. 1 minute, two
Yeah,
two.
yeah, you never cut it from your deck. You're just in certain spots, it's not very useful. But yeah, Keelan here is drawn Izzet Gilgate, which means he will be able to cast his Scourge of Valkus on time if he wants to. Not that it's killing anything right now. But the Witch's Mark is looking to be pretty okay here. He can get rid of an island.
A lot of extra damage.
Oh, he's drawn a Boulder Salvo. That was a really good draw.
Oh, so we can now like just go untap land boulder stop with the raptor.
Yeah, attack for 5. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Drum Changer Mage doing work.
Yeah, that card always looked better than it played, I
Yeah.
found. Because it's like 1-3 prowess for 2 has been like a stat line we've seen at Common. Obviously, this is better, has flying and haste, but it's like those 2-mana 1-3 prowesses are like never very good, and this is like it's a couple steps above them, but not like many steps above them.
Right.
Every
Like
time
it,
I
it
read it,
just
I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then every time I play it, I'm like, oh, it's a 1-3.
its keywords are aggressively statted, but its pipeline is not.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Or sorry, its power toughness
Power
are not.
toughness. All right, so a pretty full on race here. Uh,
Um,
the
yeah.
Scourge of Valkus is going to come down. I guess just deal 1 damage, or he maybe should have played a pre-combat for an extra damage.
It will be interesting if so Joaquin has he has this fall of the hammer still. It will be interesting if he decides to just like fire it
Yeah,
off and go off.
hopefully he doesn't miss lethal by 1 because he missed out on a damage here from the evolve trigger.
I mean, we don't. Joaquin has zero answers to anything that's going on, besides like he can follow the hammer, the cloud from after. And aside from that, he's kind of just out of
Oh, not
flyers.
anymore.
Well, that's a horrible draw. If you thought the first Zergo Bell Striker was bad, how about the second one?
Yeah, no, not great. Yeah, he can't even follow the hammer now. So
I
just
mean, he has coordinated assault,
okay.
so he like still can.
He's he'll still die to the coordinated assault in hand.
I mean, we're just. I guess Joaquin is just hoping Keelan decides to block on
Yeah,
Valkus, and he can coordinate assault and follow the hammer to
yeah.
kill it.
Keelan's having a thought about blocking. Is there a +2 to everything at instant speed in the set?
No, there's. Well, actually, I mean, actually, yeah. There's Dictative Heliod.
Yeah, there's Phalanx Tactics, which, if I recall, Joaquin does have in his deck when
Right.
playing him,
So it could be like
but
a
that's
Phalanx
not
tactic.
lethal. You
I
need
mean, it could be like
to.
a Phalanx tactics plus a second pump spell, right?
Yeah, so he just said, I'm gonna play it safe here.
I think this is still fine, right? Because like Keelan's still winning this race.
I mean, yeah, Coordinate Assault is still lethal with the other two creatures. So
Right.
yeah, Coordinate Assault is like kind of a crazy card looking at it now.
It's really good, yeah. For
Like
as
we
far
get
as
this effect at common for 1 mana on one creature, and it's like nobody ever plays it. Okay, so he's gonna do the Coordinate Assault, and he's gonna fall
yeah,
the
just
hammer here.
kill
But
the
that's
Malgus.
gonna basically leave the door open for Keelan to just win with his Coordinate Assault. And he's drawn a Master Waves for good measure, but
Oh, there you go.
doesn't have to show him that. This is lethal. It's actually one above lethal, and yeah, a race here that went to the Flyers. They were just also Keelan was able to like interact with one of the creatures.
I mean, Cloudfin Raptor into Storm Chaser Mage is a hell of a curve.
Yeah, I mean the difference there was that um, Keelan did actually remove one of the creatures on the opposing side
Yeah.
to aid the race here. So interesting that he is not playing Shock in his main deck, but he is siding it in. That
Yeah,
would be
that's
actual Shock.
curious decision.
Yeah, so he does have a Wild Slash, which I guess is strictly better, but yeah, I think I would just probably just play both. Yeah, so
But
he's
cool.
got he's got probably the best uncommon in all of Kamigawa here with Behold the Unspeakable.
Yep. I was gonna say if it's not Behold the Unspeakable, it's not the best uncommon, but
Wouldn't
yeah.
mind seeing that in play for old time's sake.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty low curve here. He's got triple gust of wind with a Murmuring Mystic. His curve's pretty low. Like his things that cost more than 5 are just Scourge of Valkas, Behold the Unspeakable Treasure Cruise, and Boulder Salvo, and 2 of those are going to cost less than advertised.
Sort of in Joaquin doesn't have with him being at 9 and 4 doesn't have like a ton of sideboard options.
Yeah.
But he's opted to take he had the same Jaya we saw from Adam in the last match, and he opted to board it up for topple the statue. So I don't know if
Okay. Yeah, he
he's
was
had
playing
to
that
look,
against me as well.
I don't know if he's had a look at Keelan's pool, install some artifacts to kill, or he just wants to be more proactive.
Yeah, he took out. So his deck is leaning a bit aggressive, so he's not playing things like Fibblethip, The Lost, or Chasm Skulker, just because his deck is a bit more aggressively lean. He did side out a Mogus's Warhound, perhaps just
Oh,
not.
that's the red creature that has to attack every
Yeah,
turn.
he brought in Erratic Visionary, which is a 2 mana 1/3 looter. All right, he already. Oh, he does have a Chasm Skulker already in his deck.
Good hit here
Okay,
from Joaquin.
did not see the first one. So
I mean, starting with an imposing sovereign on curve, just I mean, great start for an aggro
yeah, there's a Jaya's Greeting here and a Shock. So
deck.
he's got a Mogus's Warhound. So he did take out one of his 2 Mogus's Warhound, left one in, and he's drawn it. He's got Chasm Skulker and Jaya's Greeting and Shock. So he's just gonna give this thing a little zap and move on with his life.
So Joaquin, he's got options. He can either just play out a Scytheclaw Raptor, looks like the case, but he also had a Crone Crusader and Witch's Mark, which is another option for him. And then the other 2 cards in his hands, a King Apparition and the Akud Warrior, the MDFC.
Well, I'm guessing he's probably going to Jaya's Greeting this thing at some point, but he's drawn about one of the worst cards you could ever have against Scytheclaw Raptor, which is Brineborn Cutthroat.
Would you
Like
like to play these with Flash Speed?
sworn enemies.
That's funny.
Well, more just the Brineborn enemy has a sworn enemy.
Yeah.
Scytheclaw Raptor's
Brandborn,
cool with it.
I had someone play just a random draft game, but someone played a Cutthroat, and I had Dragonlord Dromoka in my hand. I was like, "Yeah, this is really bad for you. You in fact
Well,
cannot play Spells Ranger."
one of them you could still misclick and take 4 damage.
That's
The other
true.
one you just can't.
Doesn't even give you the option.
Yeah, so he did decide to play the Chasm Skulker, which is pretty slow against like a Boros deck here.
It is,
I
but
think next
it's
turn
probably good.
he's just gonna Jaya's greeting and then probably cast the Blindborn Cutthroat next turn.
If you, I mean, if you're playing Chasm Skulker, you do want it on curve, even if like take a bit of damage for it.
Yeah, yeah. I guess yeah. This is sort of the quote unquote best turn to bring it out.
Right. Joaquin doesn't have answers to it, right? He's got this Witch's Mark, see what he draws, but
I mean, his
two
answer is
lands.
just attack for damage for now.
Yeah. So I mean, if this Chasm Skulker gets a few counters, um, yeah, it doesn't really have a way of dealing with it.
Yeah, no ways to put counters on it at this time. But you know, we did see a reasonable amount of draw earlier. Yep. So he's just going to do the good old sorcery speed Jaya's greeting here,
Makes sense.
or not? Okay. Hmm. I mean, there's no really other way to do it. He's maybe wondering if he wants to kill the Chrome Crusader, but that can't be.
No, yeah, I think you just have to get rid
All
of
right, he sees
Raptor.
Exquisite Firecraft on top, so that's a nice one.
Seems good.
All right, and he's gonna play the Morgus's Warhound here. Yeah, so he's gonna probably try and block with it if given the opportunity.
Unfortunate for Joaquin that he Witch's Mark discarded a 2-drop, and then he's drawn 2 lands and a land for his turn, so
Yeah,
he's
it's
kind of out
pretty
of
unfair.
action. I
Okay,
mean,
so
he's got
is it just lands?
he has the Akun Warrior still, so I
Okay,
assume he'll be playing that next turn, but
yeah,
not a lot going on.
that'll be quite big. Yeah, so this thing absolutely has to attack, and Joaquin is happy to see it. Yeah, so he's just gonna hold on to the Firecraft here, nothing to kill with it, and he's got the Brineborn Cutthroat to play at instant speed.
I mean, Joaquin is drawn Fall the Hammer, which he can go Akun Warrior and then hopefully fall this Chasm Skulker as long as
Yeah,
Keelan doesn't have any ways drawing extra cards.
that'll work unless he gets a card draw spell here.
Right. Notably, these tokens do have Island Walk, which I forgot the first time I played against it and almost lost because of it, but will not matter in this matchup.
Yeah, just so many like random words in Pioneer Masters that are just not part of our lexicon anymore. Like
Yeah,
regenerate,
regenerate, yeah.
a land walk, so a few others. Protection, that we don't see very much of anymore.
Right.
We see it a bit more, but yeah.
Well,
So
we see,
at least he gets to use his Firecraft here on this big creature.
and I mean, that's also a problem because then this Chasm Skulker kind of just goes unanswered unless,
And he's drawn a Treasure Cruise as well. So
oh wow. Like, so this Chasm Skulker is really going unanswered.
will he
Uh,
be able to? He's gonna have 5 cards in his graveyard now.
so he's one short of cruising. Oh,
Nope,
he's got a
no,
land.
he's good.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the land. The land was the last card. So, we're Chasm Skulker is absolutely taking over this game here.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean, it's hard.
my fear, especially like on the draw against a Boros deck, is that the Chasm Skulker is just gonna come down and be useless. But Joaquin's start was slow enough here that he had time to stick it and not fall super behind. He had to take 4 once from the 4/3, and then after that, kill it.
So, okay, Joaquin has drawn a Bond of Passion, which is a card I hate, but it's
Yeah,
sort of interesting with Chasm Skulker on the board. If he can find a way to like sacrifice it or kill it after stealing it, that's a pretty nice play. I mean,
yeah.
doesn't currently know how to do that, but something to think about.
He won a game against me with that today, and then he almost won game 3 with it.
It's too much
It's
mana.
yeah, 6 mana, and like the effects are just. I mean, if your deck is built to make use of it, it was particularly bad in War of the Spark. So I think maybe like taken out into a context where like a Boros deck is a bit better, um, a bit more put together and consistent. It could be good, but yeah, it's a little small.
What
It's a
is it?
very
It's like
small effect for what it does.
it's, it's active treason and like you shock something, right?
2 damage to any other target
Yeah.
other than the creature you targeted for a depth. So he does have a Legion Loyalist that he's holding in hand here, perhaps.
Okay.
For I mean, it will be relevant that the token won't be able to block.
That is true. thinking about just follow the hammering the cutthroat.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like he's
mean
got
it's sort of small game here, but I mean it's like there's not much else that he can do.
I mean, I would maybe not want to do this yet. If I have the bond of passion and then I can like follow the hammer the mystic. I mean, it's just fine, you know.
Oh,
Sam
like save up for 8 mana and
yeah,
basically
like if you draw one more land, you can steal the Chasm Skulker, follow the hammer or something big,
it's
and then
not
just hit them with the
it
Chasm
won't be
Skulker.
lethal, but it'll be
Not quite.
close.
Bond of
Yeah,
Passion.
having a gigantic creature for Keelan is good right now until his opponent takes it, but he's not in a position to really leverage that bond of passion yet. And like you want your top of curve 6 mana spell to be something you can use once you get to 6 mana.
Right.
That's
Because
sort of the
Draw for turn was Sam with Sprint, which also is not super useful right now.
oh, which one's that? It's like 1 mana.
I think it's +2/+1 scry one.
It gives haste, perhaps.
Something like that. Yeah, it's just a insert generic red pump spell here.
Yeah, it was a pump spell from a set where pump spells were bad. Being
plus two
blunt.
plus one and getting haste and then scry.
Okay.
Okay, he's just fire this off, but doesn't this mean he's dead?
Yep, he is dead to the surprise Legion loyalist for exact lethal. He's even got a
Yeah,
coordinated assault. Well, it's one above lethal, but yeah,
right.
the little loyalist that could coming in saying, "Oh, no chump block in here." I think we're just gonna
Certainly,
go straight to damage here. So yeah, Keelan with an impressive showing here with his blue red deck, getting the win here in week 3. So congratulations to Keelan, and we'll be back in a little while for our last match of the week.